So there's something I never thought I would actually say here on the channel, but that is that pirates are causing problems for a cruise ship here in the US. Yes, I'll tell you all about what's going down there. Plus, scary moments when a cruise ship runs aground and begins taking on water, causing the evacuation of the entire vessel. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And let's get things kicked off with a question of the day. How about it? Question: how much do you think a bottle of water should cost on a cruise? What do you think would be a fair price? Let me know your answer down in the comments below. I will also tag some of the cruise lines in this so they can take a look at your thoughts. Since you're here, you are obviously seasoned, experienced cruisers, and I think your opinions are probably the most important in the cruise industry. Now, let's get into the cruise news for the day. We're heading on over to Tampa Bay, Florida, a place where there's a few cruise ships located. Today, we're talking about Carnival Cruise Line, who's facing a problem in the port of Tampa, and that problem comes in the form of pirates. That's right. Carnival Cruise Line is warning guests booked on the Carnival Paradise that they are going to be encountering pirates this weekend in the port of Tampa Bay. Y'all, I'm pulling your leg a little bit, but not really. As a matter of fact, I used to live in Tampa, and I can tell you that at the end of every January, every year, the largest parade in the U.S. occurs, and it's a pirate-themed parade. It's called Gasparilla. Don't confuse it with sarsaparilla. And if you know anything about sarsaparilla, well, it's one of the main ingredients in one of my favorite sodas, root beer, of course. Now, obviously, they don't use real sarsaparilla anymore. Something about having too much and dying, perhaps. Like the rest of the food that we pretty much eat anymore, it's all fake. But let's get back to the cruise news at hand. Port Tampa Bay officials have informed Carnival Cruise Line, who has subsequently informed their cruisers that the city is hosting the annual Gasparilla Pirate Festival on January 27th this weekend. So if you're cruising out of the port of Tampa Bay, there's going to be some major, and I mean major, traffic going on, not only on the streets, but on the water, because there's about to be thousands of boats, pirate ships, ships decorated like pirate ships, floating through the whole harbor there, this whole pirate invasion. It's a really cool thing. If you've never heard of it, all I got to say, if you got any extra vacation time at the end of January and you're looking for something really fun and really unique to do, I highly recommend checking out Gasparilla. If not this year, then some year. It always happens. It's a great time. And since Royal Caribbean saw fit to invite every other cruise influencer in the world, seemingly, except for me, to check out Icon of the Seas over the past week or two and into next week, well, I really don't have anything better to do this weekend, so maybe I'm heading over to Gasparilla as well. Unless I plan a last-minute cruise. I haven't cruised yet in January. It's really strange. But you know what isn't strange? Well, me reminding you in every episode that if you got a cruise on the books, or you just love cruises, or you love to support people like me, well, it's important that you prepare for your cruises ahead of time. And the best place to do that, well, of course, I think, is in the Midships Amazon store, because in there you can find everything I take with me every time I cruise. Items that have been on 35 cruises with me now, still holding up just fine. Trust me, these are some good things. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below. Thanks for your support. Now, a cruise ship of sorts has run aground over in New Zealand. And I think the last running aground story we talked about here was it the Norwegian escape last year? I think that's it. Let me know in the comments below if you remember. So what I'm getting at with this is it's not impossible for this occurrence to occur. And guests on board the Fiordland Navigator, which is a small cruise ship, it's larger than a river cruise ship, but definitely smaller than even like a Silver Seas type of vessel. Well, these guests experienced a very large scare on their trip back on January 24th when their cruise ship was about 80 miles south of Milford Sound. Around dinner time at about 6:15, 6:30, the ship got a little too close to shore and ended up running aground, scraping the bottom. They actually ended up breaching the hull, taking on water. Yeah, this was pretty serious, so much so that the captain of the vessel He made a mayday call and he alerted the local emergency responders who quickly arrived on scene. Fortunately, all 60 guests on board and 10 crew members aboard the ship were safely evacuated, with only one minor injury being reported. The cruise ship Fjordland Navigator was fortunately successfully refloated about 2 hours later and returned to her berth, where she's now undergoing necessary repairs. Look, y'all, these things happen, and while it may sound scary when we talk about it here, because, well, as a guy who's been on YouTube for going on 3 years now, I'm pretty good at weaving a news story into something that keeps your attention and piques your interest, which could be kind of scary to some people. I will encourage you to not be scared, because, well, every cruise ship, large or small, they've got plans in place for exactly this eventuality, along with hundreds of other ones that the crew are constantly drilled and trained on. And as you can see, a successful outcome occurred. No one was really hurt. The vessel didn't sink, and it's currently being repaired and will probably be back out on the water within just a couple of weeks, if not sooner. Well, that's your cruise news. If you made it this far today, I hope you'd consider hitting that subscribe button that's right down there, right below this video, becoming a member, joining the Midships family. There's 22,000 plus members here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And as always, till next time, we'll see ya on the Midships.